Hey, we're going to talk about some drama before breakfast. Come along for the ride. We have some stories to tell, some ideas to think about, and maybe a few things you can change to not have drama before breakfast. Do you remember at all when you were a mother raising your family? Maybe a single mother, maybe a married mother, it matters not. But what we did as mothers is we woke up and we thought about everybody else first. We didn't think about our own day. We didn't think about our own body, not our own thoughts. And that's how I did it. I woke up and I thought, Heather's got to do this. Shanna's got to do that. The hubby's got this going on. And I was already in game mode. I was already moving fast and I hadn't even gotten to breakfast yet. And oh my God, here comes the drama. Somebody needs a science project ready to go. And a dress has to be ready for the junior senior prom. And mama, can you take care of it? And so on and so forth. It was, enough to drive a sane person crazy, right? Who's with me? You guys get that? But that doesn't happen anymore. And it's not because I'm 70 years old. Because God knows there's plenty of things to worry about day in and day out. If we give enough of our attention to the wrong things, we're going to find the things to worry about. I now wake up with a list of things that I enjoy thinking about. And that happened only because I took the time to do something unusual and, for me, different. I stopped journaling first thing every morning. Okay. But before I even got to journaling, before I broke that habit, because I started learning to sit with my breath and do 4-4-6 breathing, I learned to quiet my nervous system. And in so doing, over months of doing it, I began to hear what my soul had in store for me instead of a daily do list of everybody else's worries. And now, because I've been doing this for a full year, I practice this day in and day out. And I wake up in the morning with eagerness and excitement for an anticipation of a day that I don't know what's going to bring because there aren't any other people involved in my life anymore. And that's really okay. I have a lot of space and freedom and time to really think about me. And the fact that I am choosing to do that doesn't mean I love my children any less. My God, my kids are middle aged, and they're doing their own thing. They don't need to call me and say, hey, mom, how do I fix so and so? They figured it out. Besides, they had the internet. Back when I was raising them, that thing didn't even exist. Let me pause here for a minute and say hello to everybody who's here. I see so many wonderful, fun, friendly names that I see often. It's one of my favorite things about Substack. I'm so glad you're here. But I want to say this very, very clearly. You don't have to wake up worried about anything anymore, but you have to make that choice to make that happen for yourself. What I really want to come around to is how to get rid of the mental noise, how to get rid of the things to handle. I would like for you to be able to develop a life where you wake up and your very first thoughts that you have bring a smile to your face, make you eager to wake up and live the day. And if you're like me, make a run for the bathroom the first thing you wake up. The old lady bladder, what can I say? You got to get up really fast. But I get up with pleasant, pleasant thoughts. Like how much I enjoyed the night before at a little Mardi Gras dinner party and the pleasant conversation and the camaraderie. And I had a whole list of things going from that particular night that I woke up with the next morning. This morning, I woke up thinking about all the joy I experienced in a little private Zoom group that I host on Wednesday nights with my little misfit friends. And we call them misfits because we're all people who don't agree with the standard recognized normal way of living a life. So we get together and talk about that on Wednesday nights. But I got to wake up this morning and think about that as opposed to a problem. Now I want to roll the clock back a little bit and tell you about the day I woke up and the first time I realized I wasn't mad at anybody. I wasn't angry. I wasn't worried. I wasn't fearful. That happened for me about 2 months ago. And it was kind of a jolt. And I kind of just laid there in bed and thought, oh my God, I don't feel any anger. I feel no worry. I feel no fear. And that absolutely is because I had spent from, let's see, it was 2 months ago. So I've been a good 6 months into sitting with my breath practice, which is 4 in, hold for 4, and expel for 6. And I sometimes did it multiple times a day. I have built this practice up to now that I do it for 3 to 5 minutes at a time, multiple times a day. And there are days I actually do forget, kind of like you gotta get it into the rhythm. I actually have it on my phone every hour, on the hour to remind me, so it's ever present with me because it's that much of a life changer for me. But here's what I wanna ask each one of you guys to do, and I'm so appreciative to y'all joining me on this, but I wanna ask you to stop right now and ask yourself, besides me on this live, what are you noticing? What were you noticing just before you popped up here with me? What have you given your attention to? And then if you don't like it, say to yourself, I have a choice here. And just stop and breathe, even for 30 seconds. 4 beats in, hold for 4, exhale for 6 beats. It'll make a world of difference. Now, if you have a habit of thought about a person or somebody you don't particularly appreciate or a situation that seems to aggravate uh, a sense of fear or anger. I have a habit that I used years ago to get my mind off of the pain that I was feeling from a failed marriage. A lot of y'all don't know this, so I'll tell you real quick. I was in my late 40s, and my then husband was 50, and I found him in bed with a 72-year-old woman. And it shook my world. I'm just going to tell you, it shook my world. I have survived it, and I'm okay. But here's what I had to do to stop thinking about it. I literally put a rubber band on my wrist, and every time Bob's name came across my mind, I popped myself. I gave myself enough pain that I connected his name with pain, and I didn't want the pain. And I stopped thinking about it. I have made this suggestion to other people through the years, and everybody does find it to be helpful, truthful, and honest way of stopping the cycle of a thought that you just don't want. When you do that in combination with doing your breath exercise, the 4-4-6, what happens is you start calming down your nervous system. The second thing that happens is then you can hear what your soul has for you. All those years I was so busy giving my attention to everybody else instead of my own soul, I have no way of hearing what was really inside my soul just for me. And that's why I talk about this all the time. And this is completely life-changing for me. One breath in, put your hand on your chest, you know, breathe it in and breathe it out, and breathe it in and breathe it out, and then go to the 4. And then hold it for 4, and then go to the 6. Now, I just asked you to notice what you were thinking. I want you to go back and remember that and write that down. All it is a signal. Doesn't mean it has to be life-shattering. It doesn't have to mean it has to change. It's just a signal to your nervous system that you're in it. You're now partnering. You have become a partner with your nervous system as opposed to being a sideline option and watching everything else that was going and you're just along for the ride. Because I'm willing to bet you a lot of you feel that way, not in control of really what's going on in your own life. You feel like you're on the sidelines just as an observer. So, would you like to wake up with lovable thoughts in your mind, or would you like to wake up and with worry on your mind? Those are things that you have choices on. Those are things that you can make determinations about. But you do it as a partner with your body, and you build a relationship with your soul. And it doesn't mean anything heavy and hard and journaling and mantras or anything else. It just means that by regulating your nervous system and calming things down, you will be able to hear what your soul has for you. Not for me, not for Joe down the street, for you. There's information there, but you can't hear it because you're too busy letting your mind run the ball game. In this practice, you're going to let your soul run the ball game. And that's what I have for you on this rainy Thursday afternoon here in Lynchburg, Virginia. Before I go, does anybody have any questions they want to ask me real quick? Otherwise, I'm going to take off. I've had so much fun sharing my joy with you because I'm going to tell you, waking up with a smile on your face, my friends, you just can't beat that. You just can't beat that. And the smile isn't because somebody bought me something. The smile isn't because somebody did something for me. The smile is because I feel good. And I want you to feel good just like I do. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. Okay, I see no questions. Nobody has any questions? Then let me see. Hey, Elizabeth, how you doing? I see Carolyn. These are friends that I see often online, and I just love that. This is my favorite part of Substack. Thank you for joining me, my friends. See you soon on the old Substack. Later, Gator.